135 and a half.
135 and a half for Cameron.
Guys, get one of the doctor out here.
Wow, that was terrible. Cameron Smotherman collapses after stepping off the weigh-in scale in this first card back on Paramount. And this is a terrible look. This is a terrible look for the UFC. This is a terrible impression to Paramount from the UFC. And that was one of the worst falls we've ever seen after a weigh-in. You know, we've seen other falls. They usually fall just on their butts, but we've never seen them fall directly on their face like that. I think that was more brutal, or I think that was worse than a lot of finishes in fights that we see. Cameron, he landed directly on his face. That was terrible. When I first saw it, I felt horrible for him. I was kind of very shocked by it. After he fell and after he came to, he sat up and he was kind of just sitting there. I really don't know if he was just confused or if he was just disappointed, sort of. Because to me, in my opinion, this sort of signals his departure from the UFC. He's 0-2 with the company. Lost his debut, lost his second fight in the UFC. Actually, no, he's 1-2. But he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He came in and he beat Jake Hadley. He lost to Sirhi City. He lost to Ricky Simone. But like I said, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. And then this happens. He kind of puts the UFC in a tough spot he didn't miss weight, but by this whole situation. A terrible look for the UFC. Very, very sketchy, to be honest. One of the worst weigh-in situations that we've ever seen. And that's gotta be the sign of his departure from the UFC. But good thing, he's only 28. He's a very good fighter. He's very talented. You can see it in his fights. And I think he'll be back. But that was a scary, scary scene. And then you have Davison Figueiredo, who is 38, former champion, former flyweight champion, which is shocking that this is happening at bantamweight. But he missed weight by 2.5 pounds. He weighed in at 138.5 pounds. Missing weight on Paramount in this big situation against Umar Nurmagomedov. Bad look on him too. He's 38 years old, has done this many times, and he's still missing weight. It's very unprofessional that he's not able to do his job. And it's crazy. I think it's a lot of it's to do with first, not being very responsible, not being very disciplined. And second, he's 38 and he's cutting all this weight to bantamweight. He was a big guy at flyweight. He's a big guy at bantamweight. He might even, if he wants to continue fighting, he might even need to move up to featherweight to not have a hellish weight cut. But bad look for Davison Figueiredo. The Paramount first card on Paramount is kind of cursed. You know, we had the Kayla Harrison pullout. We have this horrible, brutal, scary situation with Cameron Smotherman falling on his face, landing directly on his face. Dude, they need to check his brain because he's on the scale after cutting a crazy amount of weight. He's obviously extremely drained, and he passes out and falls directly on his face, directly on his chin. He needs to get checked out. That was a very scary situation. I wouldn't be surprised if honestly that's equivalent to him being finished. Like he passed out, he landed directly on his face. And yeah, it was very brutal. You know, and then you also have the Davison missing weight. There was somebody else on the card who missed weight as well. Charles Johnson's opponent. I can't remember his name, but he missed weight as well. And yeah, it's crazy. The Paramount era is definitely starting with a bang, and I hope this is not a sign of things to come. But thank you for watching. It's Friday. The fights are tomorrow night. I think they're going to be awesome, and I'm just glad that fights are back. But thank you for watching.